Every year, there's at least one movie most critics fawn over that I just don't get. Welcome to 2013's main contender. Wadjda is a Saudi Arabian film that follows the story of a young Arab girl and her struggle to understand religion, tradition, and how it relates to the truth she sees around her as a young female in the Arabic culture. Certainly some weighty issues that could be lurking in there ready to be explored, right? So why does the whole thing feel so light and fluffy? And is that necessarily a bad thing? Now let me say right up front, there's a lot to like here. Most prominently, and the best thing, has to be this honest and heartfelt look into a culture that most of us remain unaware and uninitiated to. It was refreshing to see an inside look from a young girl's perspective on a culture that is often in the news for its treatment of women. The movie does a great job at allowing us into this place to see the inconsistencies and flaws while at the same time refusing to just launch grenades. It really is a touching look into this very real society and culture and how tradition and truth can be at odds. It bears mentioning that this movie is also the first shot entirely in Saudi Arabia, and not only that, but by a Saudi Arabian woman. And maybe this is part of why critics are praising it so deeply. But let's step beyond what surrounds the movie and look at the execution of the movie itself. It's only so-so. Now, don't get me wrong, the girl who plays the lead is sweet and charming and carries a real sense of joy here, but she and the other actors around her just aren't all that good. In fact, there are a couple of times the scenes feel like actors reading lines rather than a look into a real world. But the worst thing is that the story is so basic and simple. It's hard to care about these stakes when there really don't seem to be any. That may seem silly to say when you're dealing with a movie about the Saudi Arabian female experience directed by a woman. But again, remember, we're just talking about the movie itself, not what surrounds it. And the movie itself is a rather simplistic story with not much going on. And maybe there doesn't have to be. Maybe for many, the story in the movie is secondary to the story behind the movie. And I guess I can understand that as well. As I see it, Wadjda is an important movie with an incredibly honest look into a culture often hidden from view. I just wish the power of the subject matter was matched in the quality of the film. I think it levels off somewhere around a B-. Thanks for checking out this Your Movie Friend review. Stay tuned for this review's best ever challenge here in a bit. But first, I'm going to put some stuff up over here you can click on if you'd like to subscribe, which I'd very much appreciate. You can do so by clicking the big gray subscribe button. Want to see more reviews? You can click over here to see another film called The Wind Rises, Christian Bale's Out of the Furnace, or the Joaquin Phoenix upcoming flick, Her. You can also click the logo right up here to go to yourmoviefriend.com, where you can search by title for reviews. And finally, this review's best ever challenge, where you name the best movie ever in a particular category and also try to identify my choice. This time, you must name the best movie ever directed by a woman. Mine was an adaptation of an 1800s Jane Austen novel with a few extra whatevers and likes thrown in for good measure. Drop your own answer and a guess at mine in the comments, and the first person to guess mine gets a point. Also, don't forget to subscribe.